Eat Fruit Media is a mission-based organization built on helping individuals address personal situations while fostering unity and improvement. Oh, so compared to a number of the people we're running with, we're kind of on the older side. We've lived through a little bit more. We're in this digital age, and we've become a little bit dependent on our technology in a lot of ways, or at least not so much dependent, but attached. Um, you're kind of there with me. We come through a stage where that wasn't normal. I mean, back in our younger days, about the only technology we had in our homes was a television and three channels.
Yep.
Um,
Well, you're older than I am.
I am. You're actually younger than my younger brother.
So I had a little bit better. I had a
Yeah,
little easier.
I was gonna say you come around. We had video game systems, and the early VCRs were in home, and
Yep.
um, but nowadays, pretty much our entire lives fit in our pocket. Everything that's our outside world is no longer typical physical face to face. It's more this, and it's not even conversational anymore. We spend more of our time conversations over text as opposed to actually calling somebody even.
Yep.
um but more so when I'm looking around at work. You go in the break room at work, even though there are multiple people sitting at the same table, not a one of them is actually talking to somebody else sitting at the table. Their faces are down in their phones. You walk down the street, most people don't even notice there are other people there because their faces are down in their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as it feels like we're being productive, how many of us are really maximizing our time being attached to that device? I mean, what's it take for us to set it aside? Even people have a hard time putting it down for even a minute. Um, and what do you, because you're really good at this. You make sure at least once a day you're out, you leave it behind. Um, what do you find that gives you when you're able to step away from that electronic?
Um, I'm not the greatest at it yet. Um, but I will say I'm always moving towards getting better at it all the time.
Yep.
And it is definitely something that I've learned. And um, first off, we have to come to the point where we realize we need it.
Right. Right.
I believe that it is part of human evolution.
Yep.
These little devices, they're able to hold a whole bunch of information that we don't have to.
Right.
I do use Chat GPT,
Yep.
and I look at it as an ongoing book because it knows how
Yep.
I think. I actually have talked about a lot of different books, and and it knows how I
Hmm.
think about leadership, and it pulls from these different books. And it's like I look at Chat GPT like an ongoing book. It's kind of
Yep.
this flowing, ongoing book that it morphs and change. But it takes a lot of work to get Chat GPT to work that way. And I've recognized a lot of people's Chat GPT doesn't look like that, doesn't
No.
challenge them. And so, technology is what you make it.
Yes.
It is what you design it to be in your mind. It's either a tool to help you get better or it's a tool to distract you.
Yep.
Most people, they think just because they're watching a couple reels and it challenges a little bit and they go down a couple rabbit holes and they're getting some information that they're being challenged. Challenge is when you actually listen to some people that have information that you don't have and they speak in a language that actually piss you off a little bit
Right.
and you let it.
Yep.
Here's what I'll say about I'm gonna go back to Chat GPT for a second. This is why I don't think I'm not. People are like, well, I'm afraid it's brainwashing people and it's gonna take over the civilization and make us into slaves. First off, we're already slaves, already
We
there.
are.
So we
Yep.
don't what can't get any farther than we I what there we're already there.
Yep.
We live in a matrix. It's a slave system. We already know that. All the stuff that's going on, we can see it. So I'm not so afraid of that. However, I am afraid of what people do and how they program it. But this is what I tell people. This is why I'm not afraid of it. I'm married. I'm on my third marriage, right? So I'm not really great at marriage. Whatever I thought I've known, it hasn't led to great results. And I've read a lot of marriage books. I tried really hard. I've been faithful in my marriages. I haven't been really good at it, right? I've gone to marriage counselors. I've gone to marriage seminars. I've had great marriage mentors, but it just never seemed to be able to get me to a place. So, a year ago, what happened, I started arguing with my wife, and my wife's really not the type of person that, first off, you should argue with. Secondly, um, uh, I started realizing that I was kind of probably part of the pattern. And so this is what I did. I actually put in there, what would someone with a secured attachment style, how would they handle this situation? And I listened to it word for word.
Yep.
And everything inside there was exact opposite what I thought here.
Yep.
Because it's programmed with millions and millions and millions of books and knows the psychology. And so 99.9% of people will not do that. So we don't have to
Right.
worry about them taking over.
And that's well, there's that, but then there's the because AI is not the problem. I mean, any form of it, honestly, that we've got access to right now is not the problem. It is the people that are either using it or avoiding using it because, um, say, I've seen how you use Chat GPT. It's not a crutch like a lot of people think it is. It helps because there are some people that need that assistance in forming their thoughts to be able to share. Um, and at the same time, the people that are using it right, like you are, you're not using it to just you're actually learning something while you're doing it. You see your thought coming to life in a way that without it you probably wouldn't get to see.
It
Um,
it is definitely like anything else in life. It's a tool, and it's
correct.
what you make it.
Yep.
You know. Sorry, I had to get a little bit better lighting.
Understand.
Uh, I watch a lot how a lot of people use it, and um it's it is the same way somebody might use I don't even want to give that as an example.
Well, in
um
some cases, it's having an assistant
yeah.
that you can bounce things off of, um, and the assistant you happen to have has a fairly unlimited reach
Mhm.
from what they can get based on the information you give it.
I'm going to say this with AI, and I tell this to AI, hey, I don't want to go spiritual. I had nothing spiritual with you. I feel too many people ask AI too much stuff on spiritual stuff. First off, it's a freaking robot.
Yep. Yeah,
It,
it's
it
not
it will
built for
tell you it
emotional.
doesn't know this stuff. It doesn't feel that. It doesn't have
Nope.
emotions. It's not alive. It is a program,
Yep.
and it is a mirror to it literally just helps unlock little parts of our brains and helps communicate. It helps unlock part of our brain. It helps us see things and communicate. And the more we feed it, the better it is. So if you're feeding it all the spiritual stuff, it starts to try to form it, but then the problem with spirituality is it's normally changing and morphing, and I think what happens is it gets really irritated with spirituality. So, as far as mine, I told it really early on, very early on, I said, please don't let me talk spiritual talk with you.
Yep.
And so here's what it's become. Steve Jobs said this in a talk a long time ago. He goes, that Alexander the Great, he was able to mentor with Aristotle.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I wish I could ask Aristotle a question. He's like,
Right.
I can ask him a question, but I'm not going to get an answer.
Correct.
And he says, I see some one day, in the palm of our hand, we'll have some kind of thing where I'll be able to ask it that question and get the answer.
Yep.
So if you want an Aristotle, you got to form an Aristotle.
Mm-hmm.
You got to ask it the Aristotle kind of questions. If you want to go, Aristotle wasn't there to try to tell people how to be a spiritual person.
No.
He was just trying to get them to think right.
Yes. Yep. And that's it. That's it. AI used properly isn't there as a shortcut. It's there for the sake of um that's what it is. It's an assistant, but it's only as good as what you're putting into it. So, and then also conversely what you're taking from it. I have a lot of friends who are artists who are up in arms over this because and the best thing I can say there is that what the real problem is isn't the AI. It's those artists don't like being challenged. And unfortunately to me, artists who are afraid of a challenge aren't the artists they think they are.
Well, let's just look at this background right here.
Yep.
And you look at yours.
Yep.
It took me 30 seconds.
Yep.
I just kind of told it. Now here's the thing. Chat GPT knows my personality, knows the colors I like, and knows my flavor, knows how I want things. You have to be if you're constantly feeding it a bunch of drama and a bunch of I'm
Right.
very intentional about how I use it. I literally use ChatGPT for information
Yep.
and to refine my thoughts.
It's
If
not a
I
therapist.
I use it to capture my thoughts.
Yeah.
Hey, what is this thought? And I will use certain books and certain it knows how to. It's an Aristotle, but it's taking me 15 months to create that.
Yep.
At first, I wasn't using it like that. At first, I was just trying to talk spiritually, and that's when I recognized I didn't. I realized I was changing spiritually too fast for it, and I could see that it wasn't made for that. And that's why I said, please, let's just never talk about spirituality. And it's funny; it keeps me to that. It holds me to that because
Yep.
sometimes I'll want to go there and I'll want to, and it'll want to bring me back down. And I kind of realize that's not my spiritual walk. People just need to put it in its place. It's
Yep.
a tool. It's not alive.
Yep.
It's not alive.
Exactly.
Tom's alive. Gerald's
Part of the
alive.
time.
Part of the time. Gerald's alive. Cam is alive.
Yep.
Marty's alive. Kayla, my wife, she's alive. My kids are
Oh yeah.
alive. Those are alive. My dog, my animals, my pets,
Yes.
they're alive. Chat GPT, it's not alive. It's a tool.
Nope.
It's like your cell phone. This thing is
Yep.
not alive,
Nope.
but it's a great tool. Keep it there.
Correct.
That's it. Just keep it there.
Yep. Yep. And that brings us back to where the real importance of being able to unplug is appreciating that person that's right in front of you. What
Mm-hmm.
you're able to get from that person that you cannot get from that device.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of it, there's only so much all the device can give us really is it can give us knowledge, but it can't really give us understanding. And the
Right.
only way we can really form that understanding is when we start connecting with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
that means from time to time we've got to know where that device's place is, and sometimes it just has to sit down, so we can have a moment with each other.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Tom. I think we can end on this point because this is a really good point. It has to start like Tom's talking, putting it down. You got to respect your relationship not only with others but with yourself.
Hmm.
It starts with having a relationship with you. And I've learned to respect myself enough to put my phone down and go on a walk at least once a day, at least a mile walk with no phone, not even in my pockets, not even on me, not even close to me. And I say to myself, and it started just there. I'm only going to do that. Then I realized that by the end of that walk, I liked the feeling of it, and it added a little bit more here and a little bit more there. And if you can respect yourself enough to put it down,
Yep.
then you'll naturally start wanting to do it with your family. And guess what? Well, your family will start seeing that, and your family will start doing it. And it doesn't mean you have to swing and get. I used to come home like,
Right.
okay, everyone, put the phones down. Like that was me. And
Yep.
I've learned there's times for that, if it goes crazy,
Yep.
especially with kids, you got to get there a little bit, but maybe not yelling, but you got to get a little tough. But if we got to be, you have to want a relationship with yourself. And a lot of that just starts just shutting it down, going outside, going in fresh air,
Yep.
looking at the first second.
You glitching out. Uh-oh, we lost Jason here. But Jason was hitting on a right point. It's not going to be easy for some people, but we're going to challenge you. Try to give yourself 5 to 10 minutes here and there, and see how you feel about it. So until next time, eat fruit. Thank you for joining us for this Eat Fruit Media production. Any donations requested were on the behalf of the speakers and their mission. We appreciate all who have joined us, and we hope you continue to live your life to its fullest purpose.